I gotta mute this. Mute.
What in the crap?
All right, Jesse, whenever you're ready.
We're ready.
All right. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 127, recorded on May 3rd, 2017. On tonight's episode, we talk about the surprise Nintendo 2DS XL, the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild update, and all the juicy secrets inside, as well as DLC plans for Fire Emblem Echoes, Mario Kart 8 news, more rumors, and so much more. Zach, cue the music.
Another episode of the Nintendo Dads podcast. My name is Zach Erickson, and tonight is May the 3rd, 2017. Joining me tonight is the king of the VG Tribune Palace land, Jesse Walden. What's going on, Jesse?
You're trying to think of something to do because of my HUD?
Yeah, he's Skeletor himself. Actually, this is your Tingle. Is that what this is?
Well, not really Tingle, but the last SCA event that I went to, this was part of the garb that I wore. Then I did have a green tunic, and I just wore my jeans under it because I don't have garb pants yet. But we need to work on that. But
hey, man,
that's
If you'll just tap the Jesse Waldak amiibo on the Switch one time a day, eventually you'll get the pants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's all it's needed.
That's what the internet says.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this more or less because of a Twitter conversation the other day.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that. That's exciting. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, Jesse, dreams come true. Speaking of dreams coming true, joining us as well, Marty Estes from the Land of the South. What's going on, Marty?
I am glad to be back on the show and back from vacation all in one day.
Yeah, man. Well, it's good to be back. It's good for you to be back. We are happy to have you back. Very cool. Well, man, we got a ton to talk about this week, which surprises me, actually, that there's so much news this week. It all is kind of taken as surprise this week, and they just kind of dumped everything at once. So let's get straight into it, shall we?
Absolutely. Do it.
And the news is brought to us by
OneUpBox.com, where you can go and get your monthly box of geeky goodness. Go over to OneUpBox.com and use the code Nintendo Dads to get $3 off your first box. Do it today. Tell them we sent you.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, absolutely. So, what's the thing this week or this month?
It is action. Action is the theme, and we actually put up our unboxing video yesterday.
Okay.
I think so. You can go over to the Nintendo Dads YouTube channel and check that out. Me and my kids unboxing it. We got a Black Widow Funko Pop plush, and we got Guardians of the Galaxy watch, which you would probably be jealous of.
What?
It was like it's like one of those little digital watches, but it has a rubber kind of bracelet, and it has all of them in like chibi form.
Oh,
it's pretty cool. And Captain Jack Sparrow sticker, and a Avatar, like the last Airbender Avatar, not the crap Avatar that James Cameron
the tall
made.
blue people.
Yeah, that
not
blue Pokemon in space. Yeah,
unobtainium. So
I forgot.
Made out of unobtainium. No, there's an Avatar, the last Airbender, key lanyard, and there's a T-shirt that comes with it that is a picture of Jack Sparrow with an umbrella on above his head, and Avatar like bending water over onto him.
Wow,
it's pretty cool. I mean, that like every month there's a exclusive T-shirt, so that's really cool.
I think it's the same one I wore a few weeks ago. It's Harry Potter and Toon Link and Fry from Futurama all fighting a three-headed dog. So
yeah,
like you do. Still very cool. Very cool. Well, hey, I'm going to play this video, the audio from this, which is I just realized as I'm doing this, there's no point to play just the audio because it's just music.
Music's cool.
The music actually is not too bad. So Nintendo this week announced something that is simultaneously kind of surprising and also not surprising. Makes a lot of sense to me at the end of the 3DS's life cycle. And that is the new Nintendo 2DS XL, new Galaxy style. Not that last part.
And Knuckles.
And Knuckles, yeah. So the new Nintendo 2DS XL is, when did they announce this? At their financial briefing, right?
It was announced last Thursday night.
Yeah, so the like the day that we released our episode, they announced it.
At 9:45 p.m.
Yeah, it was
just some random time.
A tweet and a YouTube video went out at about the same time. Then a PR came out maybe 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And
Which is nice, by the way.
what?
I feel like lately we've been getting, like, they send that PR email out, and then, I guess this makes sense because now we're part of the press, and maybe that's just what being part of the press is that you find out stuff, and then other fellow press people announce it. Like, that's just how press works, I guess, now as I'm saying it. But, so we got that email, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I watched the video and everything, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. So what are your guys' thoughts on this 2DS XL? It's the same size as the 3DS XL. It is a new 2DS, so it can play things like Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. Can play all those new 3DS exclusive games.
Super Nintendo Virtual Console.
Yeah, Super Nintendo Virtual Console. What are your guys' thoughts on that? On the whole thing?
I want to know why you're not surprised.
Why I'm not surprised? Because I guess I was surprised in the sense that I wasn't expecting it, that it did come out of nowhere, and so in that sense I was surprised. But my immediate thought was, okay, everybody, calm down. Like, this is the end of a handheld life cycle. This is, I think that we need to squash some logical fallacies that are going on here too, where there are people out there saying, why are they doing this? Why are they focusing on the 3DS? Why aren't they focusing on the Switch? As if they can't do both at the same time. And they are serving different markets. I think that's important to say as well. But like, at the end of any handheld life cycle, you look at, even going back to the Game Boy, you had the original Game Boy, then you had the Color, then you've got like Game Boy Pocket and things like that.
Yeah,
and
around the same time Color came out, there was a Pocket, and I owned the Pocket at one point, which was just a thinner original Game Boy, still black and white. Yep.
And didn't they, in Japan, they had like a backlit version of the Pocket?
The Pocket Light.
Yeah, and
so it had like a greenish glow.
Yeah, and so like
it wasn't like a LED.
Yeah, it was some sort of like forward lit or front lit sort of configuration thing there. And I saw that, and immediately I started seeing people freak out on Twitter, and the first thing I sent out was, all right, everybody, just relax. This is this handheld generation's version of the Game Boy Micro. It's fine. It's a cost-effective configuration of this line. They're probably making more on this than they will even on the 2DS or on whatever, the 3DS. This is like this generation's version of the Wii Mini, where they took the Wi-Fi out of the Wii and then sold it as this cheaper version. Things. Exactly, right? Yeah.
But and so this is at least, other than the 3D, this is a fully featured new system. You know, new as in.
Yeah, exactly. And let's be real. Model. Like, what percentage of people actually use the 3D? Like, I personally enjoy the 3D, right? Like, I got the sweet Black Friday 3DS, and I'm actually even more excited now that I got that. Like, because of all the cool new stuff that's coming out for the 3DS, I'm even more glad that I got that, because it was cheaper and it's like a smaller version, and I don't actually want to go up to the bigger version yet again. But I don't know. I think I can't
go back to the smaller size after playing on the XL for as long as I have.
Yeah.
See, part of the issue with me for the 3DS XL was the weight of the new 3DS XL was ridiculous. I mean, you held it up over time, and it was a great system, but it did, it just got so heavy in your hands because of all the new internals and everything. And they say this new 2DS XL is going to be the same weight as the new 3DS that you and I have, Zach.
Oh, really?
Well, which makes sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've taken some things out, obviously. That
you look at if you look at the video or at the images, there are some interesting design things that are different too. The first thing that I notice is I'm pretty sure that the cart slot is underneath some sort of rubber flap like it is on the Switch. Because
it's either a rubber or plastic flap.
And the micro SD card goes in the same place next to the cart.
Yeah.
You don't have to
my thing about that is, if it's not made like the Switch where the flap is kind of attached inside there, those things are gone within the first couple of days for kids.
Yeah, I'm sure that they probably are similar to the Switch. Another thing that I noticed is the speakers are on the bottom, right where your palms sit. Your palms are going to be covering up those speakers, I guarantee.
Are they going to be covering up, or are they going to be amplifying it, like how you used to have to hold it up to the iPhone and kind of amplify it in some way?
I think it depends how you're. If it's an XL, my guess is you're going to be resting that thing in your palms, which means that you may be covering up those speakers. I don't know, but they're definitely
I saw a video. It might have been BitBlock, but I don't remember. But they were asking about where is the speakers. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, they're in the bottom right-hand corner. You see if you look on the thing, if it's kind of at an angle, it's right in the bottom right-hand corner. There's two little notches there. I'm guessing that's where the speakers are, because I don't see them anywhere else unless they're embedded behind the plastic covering on the top, or they're in the hinge. Those are the only other places that I can guess. But that would be my guess. Is that there is those two little notches on they're just right on the corner there.
And all three cameras are in a weird place.
Yeah. The ones on the clamshell, or the ones on the hinge, the forward-facing one, and the outside ones are on the. Yeah, that's a weird place.
They're like on the bottom part of the clamshell.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing with that, and Jesse and I were talking about that a little bit before you got on tonight, Zach, was that and I've thought about this, and I didn't say this to him then, but I mean, if you've looked at images of the unit, that we're going to get, whoever buys it, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I may buy it. I may not. I don't know. I actually like the design enough to consider letting go of my new 3DS.
It's too bad the white one isn't coming to North America.
That's true. I love the white one.
Apparently, it's coming to the UK, because I saw that it had a Peggy logo on it.
The first thing that I thought when I saw both of those colors is these were made for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Because the orange and white looks like Solgaleo and the black and blue looks like Lunala. But the placement of the hinge is strange to me.
It looks
because now you have it sticks up above the unit by about a 1/4 inch. So, like my point was, if we're doing this and it's end of life cycle, how many people really legitimately use the 3DS and 2DS camera? Why not just strip that out of there and save $10-15? Pass that savings along to the consumers.
Probably because it would screw up some of the games.
Screw up. You couldn't do face raiders anymore. You couldn't take a picture of yourself and have it make a me.
Right, but there are other games like Kid Icarus Uprising, for example, had all those AR cards, and if the cameras aren't there, then what does the software do? Right,
that's true.
Right, like that's the kind of thing that you would have to then retroactively go back and patch all of those games that would it wouldn't work. So they probably have them there somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even literally the cheapest possible crappy camera they could find that they could get.
It already was.
I mean, it is. You don't have to assure us of that. It is.
6 years ago, they used the crappiest cameras they could find.
Yeah. But looking at this thing, it literally the only thing that is in that top hinge. I wouldn't be surprised if it's literally just a freaking screen in there and one of those ribbon cables, and that's it. That's the only thing that's in that.
The top screen, just from the video and what you see, the top screen looks incredibly thin. Yeah. Just the size of that. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I thought when I saw this, since you asked that question earlier. Number one was, what the crap? I mean, that was my first. That was the first thing I was like, why? And then the second thing was, why? And the reason for that, and I'll get into it here in a minute. But the third thing I thought was, and I actually said something, maybe it was in our line chat or maybe I tweeted this. I don't remember that. Stereoscopic 3D game development is dead.
Yep. Well, like
And
Pikmin doesn't have it.
Well,
Right.
Hey Pikmin didn't have it. Mario Maker didn't have it. What was the other big?
Pokemon.
Pokemon didn't have it. Yoshi's Woolly World, I don't think had it.
No, it did. It was
It
good.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
So-
played yeah. No,
Most of the quote unquote big name games that have come out in the last 6 months to 7, 8, 9 months have not had any 3D. This is a way to be able to continue on these games and selling them. And I would not be surprised at all if over the next year we watch them phase out 3DS.
Literally, this is the only thing that they continue to sell. I agree.
Because this is what's going to fill the gap. Because now we understand why. This was the fourth thing I thought was. Now I understand why we've not been able to find any 2DSs
or 3DSs.
Since and I almost expect that to continue. I mean, I walked into my Walmart the other day and it shocked me that there were Galaxy style 3DSs on the shelf, like 2 of them. But that's it. Like, if you notice, there's no normal colors of 3DS out right now.
Yeah.
There's
see the 2DS. I think maybe what they'll do is they'll leave the regular 2DS out, because I do still see those occasionally. The regular 2DS, the loaf of bread, and then the new Nintendo 2DS XL.
Well, and this would be a great place for them. This would be a great and natural. It feels natural, at least, point for them to segue and say, you know what, guys, we're not producing the 3DS anymore. Maybe not even to say that, but just to quietly slow production down until it's done.
Yep.
And then you have the 2DS XL, and you can play all those games, and everybody's happy.
And again, that wouldn't surprise me if it already isn't done.
And like over time, you just transition the logo on the boxes as well.
Well, because they'll always be the 3DS family of systems, right? Like, that's how they've been doing it for a long time. And they just
I always think, to me, what I feel like they should have done is they should have kept it, and they should have called it the DS family of systems, because the 3D should have just been an extra feature. You got the DS.
Then you'll get confused with the
3DS.
original DS, because that's what they called that too. The DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL. Those were the DS family of systems.
Right. And I guess this is an iteration of the newer hardware with the 3DS. But when you strip the 3D away from it and you call it a 2DS, that just sounds weird. It's like, just call it a Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
That's what it really is. It's an updated DS.
Well, now
call it the Super DS.
Well, I understand why they're calling it new, because they want to keep,
because that's the
new Nintendo Blah DS, 2 or 3. Has the same technology. It's got the bigger screens. It's got the Amiibo built in. It's got the C-Stick. It's got the ZR.
Yeah, it's got stronger processors.
And the stronger processor, probably the better Wi-Fi as well.
Yep.
Just like the new 3DS.
Yeah, the HTML browser is better. All that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. Like, I'm just saying, like,
the brand.
Coming back to the why, like this came out, and I'm like, Nintendo. Number one, the why question for me was, okay, it comes out in July, right? Why did you not save this for E3? Do everything, build as much buzz as you can at E3.
I'm hoping that means they have bigger announcements at E3.
Yeah, you know what? I bet you actually we hardly Nintendo over
keep it Switch focus.
The last few years, they really have been hesitant to bring anything handheld to E3 at all. And
that's true.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we just don't hear about this at E3, because
I'm the opposite of you, because it wouldn't surprise me at all if they go up there and spend 15 to 20 minutes on this.
They'll definitely have demo units in the booth to show off the system and the new games. But again, they'll
spend some time in the Treehouse segment with some of the new games that are coming out.
Yeah, but in the actual direct, the 40-ish minute direct that we'll get, just before, they probably won't mention it at all, or spend 2 minutes on it. Say, hey, don't forget this is coming. Now let's talk about the Switch.
They may have another segment of that sort of ticker tape kind of thing, right? Where it's like they show off a bunch of stuff, and then that's that.
It's one thing too that I want to mention about this is you can definitely tell that they are up, that the thought behind this was, man, we got to update the 3DS or the 2DS to compete with the way the Switch looks aesthetically.
At the very least, it's informed by it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because you've got you've got the Switch, and so many people are saying like, "Oh man, this is a very sexy piece of tech. It's it's better designed than like a lot of Nintendo stuff lately, and it just looks great." And so then you kind of look back at your 3DS. It's like like with the hinge, click, 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 and I'm sure that'll still be there. But I'm like, this looks amazing. And I saw a picture earlier on Twitter of someone like a kid playing a 2DS XL and a kid playing a 2DS, and the design element is night and day.
Like one
how
looks like a Fisher Price toy, the other does not.
Yes, exactly.
You know what though? I kind of like, again, I compare my 3DS that I have, the new 3DS, the small little black one, and I put it up against my Switch. And this is, again, part of the reason why I actually downgraded, and I like that I downgraded from the XL to the regular new 3DS, is that if I have my Switch, like the difference between carrying around a 3DS XL and a Switch is there's almost no difference, especially if you carry it around just the tablet part and then kind of like have the Joy-Con separated. I found that that's actually the best way for me to carry it around. This fits pretty nicely into like a pocket, and then having the Joy-Cons kind of like in a different pocket, if that makes sense. That's for me the best way to carry it around. And then to put a 3DS in the same pocket, there's almost no difference. But I think there is a real good fair comparison between the Wii U gamepad and the Switch. But comparing the Switch and the new 3DS that at least the one that I have, there's really not that much of a difference, I don't think. Like the clicking of the hinge doesn't really bother me. Like I think I kind of, honestly, it's not nearly as nice of a sound as when the Joy-Cons click into the Switch, but it kind of honestly sounds similar. Like it's a plastic click. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I hear what you're saying though. Like it definitely seems like Nintendo's design lately has been it has been a lot cleaner. Like whatever crack they were on when they designed the Wii U gamepad, that is long gone, right? Like that supply has run out. And thank goodness, because this new 2DS XL looks good. I really don't have any need for it, right? Up in Canada, it's $200. And that's just, I mean, $200 for this thing is not great. I think if you are going to be playing, the thing that I kind of struggle with it is because it has that 2DS brand. I wonder, like 2DS, for me, the 2DS is the thing you buy for your kid, right? That is and they're kind of, the new 2DS XL seems like this is for everybody. Right, this is the new thing that's for everybody, because if they have the new 3DS XL, the high-end version, then they just want to push those people to the Switch, right? The people who are interested in the new 3DS XL, they're no longer interested in that. They're interested in the Switch. And so the 2DS brand is kind of, they're trying to elevate it a little bit, and I wonder how successful that'll be. But also, if that's the only thing that you can buy, then, and you want to play the huge, I think in the presentation they said, even what they really are realizing, and the reason they're still pushing the 3DS is because there is such a huge install base, right? There are so many people out there that have a 3DS right now, and they're still building up the install base for the Switch. And so the 3DS kind of is like, they need to capitalize on the 3DS even more. Like there's almost like that additional pressure of like, we don't necessarily have to sell a bunch of systems. I don't think they need to sell a bunch of 2DS XLs. But what they do need to do is get as much, like those people who are interested in the 3DS, who still own one, who may be interested in new hardware, really get as much money from those people as they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're an adult and you're spending $150 on a new 2DS XL, the thought is kind of, why not just go ahead and buy the Switch? I mean, for $150 more. I get that it's positioned at a very desirable price rate, especially considering what the 3DS was when it first came out in the very small or original version.
Yeah.
But you're right about that. I mean, like I guess since its inception, what Nintendo has basically said, here's the 2DS. It doesn't have. We've heard that 3D is bad for kids, so here's the 2DS. Give them this. It's shaped like a tablet, to reel them in. It won't break. It's very sturdy, and it's not susceptible to like getting dirty and all like a 3DS might. Now you've got this super sleek, sexy new 2DS XL, and it's like confusing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what do we do? I mean, like, they're not even really consistent on their marketing in that, like, are they going to continue to offer the $79.99 model? Are they going to offer them alongside each other?
Yeah. Is that how much the regular 2DS is down there?
Is it $79.99 now?
Yeah, it launched at $99.99. Then it started packing in Mario Kart 7, and then I think like last holiday season they lowered to $79.99. And it's stayed at that price. Which I did want to mention the price. I don't know if we mentioned it yet. It is for the new 2DS is $149.99 in US, which still makes it the second cheapest 3DS family system.
Yeah.
Because the price of the original model never really dropped under $169.
Yeah.
It just kind of phased out of existence.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if the 2DS sticks around and the new 2DS XL is the higher end model, and that's all we have. Like, nobody's interested. Like, anybody who cared about the higher end stuff they don't care anymore. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. I think the last point that I'll say is that if you do not have a 3DS yet, if you've never had a 3DS, and like there is such a it is. I would venture it is the best game library on a handheld in history. It is amazing.
That's absolutely true.
Especially considering you can go back to 2004 with DS games. Exactly. We'll work on it.
Yeah, plus all the eShop virtual console stuff. It is amazing. If you haven't done that, I mean, it makes total sense, right? Like, this is the perfect thing for you to pick up at this point. Is something like the new 2DS XL. And there's such an amazing game library on that for them to just, redesign it, improve their margins, be able to lower the price, and I think it makes perfect sense. So, right on. Speaking of perfect sense, I don't know how to transition to this. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. What is this? What is this called? The Master Quest. That's not what it's called. They actually have given a name to this patch. What is this?
It is called the
Trial Master Trials. Is that right?
Let's go look at the actual Zelda.com.
That's what I'm doing. Oh, good. They didn't actually put it on this website. Good job. Well, where's the press release? Anyways, while we look that up. The first DLC pack has been they have put a bunch of stuff on here as far as good, I'm not even logged into the Nintendo Dad's email. That's great. They basically detailed the entire patch, everything.
The show notes pretty much has the whole PR in it.
It doesn't really have a name other than there are sections of it that are named.
Okay.
Trial of the Sword is a new challenge, the Hero's Path mode, the hard mode.
The first pack, called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, The Master Trials, launches this summer with while the second DLC pack launches in holiday 2017. So the patch is actually called The Master Trials. That's what I'm looking for.
I was wrong about that. Thanks for the correction.
So there's a bunch of stuff. Sorry, what were you saying, Marty?
Oh, no, I was just saying that, and I had gone to the website, and I thought it was just that parts of it were named and not the actual pack.
Yeah, and so our actual press release actually shows a little. Oh, maybe this is actually a little bit more. Where is it? I feel like some of the press release actually showed a little bit more than the website did initially, but it looks like they've updated the website. So. There's a bunch of different stuff on here. Trial of the Sword is the first one. 45 rooms. which seems kind of like a beefed up version of what they put into Twilight Princess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Except if you beat all 45 rooms, then your Master Sword, currently the Master Sword is usually 30 attack, and then if you're around like Guardians or Corrupted whatever, then it powers up to 60 and it's glowing. If you beat all 45 rooms, then it's always at 60, which
Wow.
I think is game breaking.
Well, other podcasts are debating about whether it actually makes it so it doesn't break or doesn't unpower anymore. I'm not sure it does. I didn't get that impression.
Isn't that how it works currently though? Like it's not like you would be able to you would be using the Master Sword against Ganon and all of a sudden it would break.
Well, it doesn't.
Right.
Well, like if you use it like outside of a normal battle, just use it for normal fighting.
It depowers.
It will depower, which is essentially breaking. You can't use it anymore until, but it will repower in time. Then you can use it again. So some people are saying that this will never depower. I'm not sure I agree with that. I agree
I think
with
it will.
I agree with what you said. It will always be at its 60 state, but I don't know if it will. I still think it'll quote unquote break.
You can't my thing about that is like, why offer a game where you're all of a sudden going to offer a hard mode, and then if you beat this trial, you get basically easy mode.
Yeah. I wonder this hard mode thing too. They say this here. So hard mode is already considered one of the most. The game is already considered one of the most thrilling games in Legend of Zelda series. Fans look forward to a challenge. They are in for a treat with the new hard mode. In hard mode, the ranks of enemies in the game are increased. So, for example, red bokoblins change to blue, and players might even encounter higher ranking enemies they wouldn't find through normal play. Enemies will also slowly recover health in battle, forcing you to defeat them more quickly.
So instead of a silver Lionel, you might see a gold Lionel?
Oh, jeez. And his health is
that's
fight him.
That's hard to interpret there. Like, are they saying that there are going to be new types of enemies?
Yeah.
So or does that mean that there's going to be enemies that, like, if you normally wouldn't find maybe you like start the game and there's the bokoblins, maybe they're Lizalfos now.
The way I interpret it is because you have this sort of hierarchy of different colors of bokoblins, for example. So it goes red, then blue, then I think black, then white, with the weird painting. Because you're upranking all of them, they need to create a new higher tier than the white tier. And so they become the gold ones, for example, right? And so now the white ones are now gold ones that are even more powerful. That's how I interpret
Well, when I said silver before, I think that's what you meant. Same as what you said, white. I don't know why. It's because I thought silver. But yeah, early on in the game, you'll find a camp of bokoblins, all red except for one blue, and normally that's the one that kicks your butt because you don't have any defense yet. But so in the hard mode, it'll be all blue except for one black.
Oh man! So like literally, you come out of that cave, you go and talk to the Beardy McGee at the campfire at the beginning of the game, and you go down that hill, and there's those two little bokoblins, and now they're blue bokoblins, and you have nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
you have a stick, a 2-stick.
And you are, oh my gosh, dude, that makes me really excited. So that's hard mode. They also say that enemies will also be more easily spot Link as he approaches them, making these enemies tougher to sneak up on. In addition, floating planks held aloft by balloons will be scattered around Hyrule. By successfully reaching these planks, players can battle enemies and collect treasure. So, wow. So it seems really cool. Some people are complaining that hard mode is being locked behind a paywall. But this bit about having actual additional things in the environment and stuff like that, it sounds like they're adding a little bit more to it, and it's not just, oh, well, you take double damage. Like, no, they actually went through and they've upranked all these enemies. They've created new types of enemies. It seems more involved than simply messing around with some sliders, which I think is great.
Well, I mean, I think it
still would be nice if they let people buy the DLC pack separately, because I know a lot of people are really against buying season passes. But it would. Mm-hmm. This is the only way to buy it.
If they're against buying season passes, wait till they see the price for the Fire Emblem one.
Yeah. Did you see my notes on that? Well, we'll talk about that later.
Oh my gosh! Like, but anyway, we'll get to that. But like, if you think about this hard mode, it effectively eliminates red bokoblins from the game. Period.
Yep.
Red everything.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think red Lizalfos, I think, are not the lowest level, but I hear what you're saying. I get what you mean. So the next thing here is Heroes Path mode, in which it tracks your footsteps, and it will do it retroactively. They specifically said that. It will track the player's last 200 hours of playtime with an included slider on the timeline, and it will show little green footprints all over the map to show you where you have been, where you have not been, so you can say, oh man, I'm looking for the shrine still. Where is it? Turn this little feature on, and it will say, yo, you have not been in this area of the map at all. So that's pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to trying that. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like in my playthrough.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that too.
I'm pretty sure the desert has been pretty sparse.
Yeah, exactly. And for sure. The next thing is the travel medallion, and so you can create a warp point for yourself. This is something that you have to find in the world. In fact, the rest of these things you have to find them in the world, which basically means that a day in, you'll be able to look it up on YouTube and find everything from the DLC pack. So
thank you, Andre.
Good. Thanks. Yeah, exactly. So that's the travel medallion. The Korok mask, when you wear that, then you will find then the mask will shake when you are nearby a Korok that you haven't that's hidden somewhere. So you'll be able to do that. You have to find that. And then there are 8 pieces of equipment, which it kind of bothers me that they showed all 8 pieces of equipment when they announced it. Like, wouldn't it be nice if it was just like players uncovered it? It kind of bugs me that they showed all of it. They didn't say what these pieces of equipment do, but they did show everything. So, Jesse, is there anything in particular? This is a softball. Anything in particular that you're excited about in this?
You mean other than the Phantom armor? Oh yeah, the Tingle's outfit.
Yes. So the different pieces here. And by the way, if you don't know, take a look. Everybody, pause and then unpause it again. But take a look at the cover art. Take a look at our cover art, and Jesse is the one in the Tingle outfit in our cover art, in our logo. So Jesse is a big Tingle fan. So the 8 pieces of equipment are the Tingle outfit. So there's 3 pieces: the hood, the shirt, the tights. The Phantom armor, which is the Phantom from Spirit Tracks.
Yes.
That is a very interesting choice for them to focus on. But the Phantom helmet, so that's basically like the armor that Zelda possesses in Spirit Tracks. The Phantom helmet, the armor, and the greaves, and then Midna's helmet and Majora's mask, which I think that one's pretty cool. So I don't know, anything like. How do we feel about these? Again, like I said, I wish they wouldn't have just shown us everything before the release. It would have been cooler to find it. But at the same time, I know that they're probably showing this so that they can sell more DLC. So I don't know. What do you think, Jesse? How do you feel about this stuff?
I'm looking forward to finding some of these. I think the Phantom armor actually looks kind of cool too. I am looking forward to finding that. But outside of when I need to climb fast or swim fast, I probably would be running around with the Tingles outfit more often than anything else. As long as I can keep it armored, if I can level it up easily, if it's going to require 15 star bits, then maybe not.
You know what? You make a really good point. Can we please have it really bothers me that you can't upgrade that Switch shirt. And if this is DLC. If this is going to be DLC, we need to be able to upgrade that so that we can play it and it's usable equipment in the game and it's not just cosmetic, because that's exactly what that Switch shirt is. It's just cosmetic and it's kind of useless. By the way, I just want to point everybody to this. I don't know why, but I don't know if you'll be able to unsee it after I tell you this. Link in the Tingle outfit has a very considerable what is the word I'm looking for? Moose knuckle, maybe. He's very endowed in that. I don't know. It just stood out to me. I don't know what that is. Interesting artistic choice, but
Sounds like you need to sit down with someone and have that analyzed.
you know what, man? I probably do. A little self-reflection at the very least. Marty, what about you, man? What do you
how do you feel
about this DLC?
Again, here's what I say about this Nintendo. Why? Could this news not have been saved for E3? Here's the reason why I asked that, and I should have made this clear when I was talking about the 2DS XL. For a company who has been criticized for the past couple of years as having not as much news as people feel like they should for E3, these would have been a couple of more, and the Shadows of Valencia stuff would have been a way to have more, I guess, even more. You know, drop it all at once and blow people's minds. But for the most part, I'm liking what I see. I think this is way more than some people thought we were going to get out of this, you know?
Yeah. Have you bought the DLC already?
I did. I went ahead and bought it because I wanted to get the I think everybody knows that people are buying it for Pack 2 and not Pack 1.
Yeah.
But Nintendo has gone above and beyond, I think.
Pack
on
1
this.
is definitely more impressive than they originally let on. It was going
makes me really excited for Pack 2.
Considerably raises my hopes for Pack 2. That's exactly what I was about to say. I've seen a lot of people online crapping on this, and I'm like, okay, so effectively you've paid $20, or let's just say $10 if you bought this, and you're getting a whole new mode, 2 whole new modes. You're getting a step tracker and path tracker for the entire game, which people have been asking for since the beginning. You're getting a travel medallion, which lets you travel, fast travel from any one point in the world that you weren't able to do before. You're getting 8 pieces of equipment for free.
Well, you gotta go find them, but yeah.
Well, exactly, but that's half the fun of this game.
Yeah.
Is the exploration. Actually, you're getting 9 if you count the Korok mask.
Yeah.
And that's just the original stuff. People, let's go back and remember that people paid $10 or more for freaking horse armor for Morrowind.
Yeah.
So don't bag on Nintendo for this.
Yeah. I think
I've said it from the beginning. Look at the Mario Kart 8 DLC and you see the value that you get. This is going to bring that same value to this game, which is already incredible. And now I can't wait to see what Pack 2 is going to be when you're promising me a new story.
Yeah.
You're promising me new stuff. I mean, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I get my hopes up too much. But this kind of raises the bar.
My son initially wasn't interested in the DLC, but now I think he is. Yeah. And my daughter also got the DLC as part of the bundle that she bought. But so she's getting the DLC whether she wants it or not. And I already bought the DLC as well.
Here's the most important part of it. Here's what it's made me want to do. It's made me want to go back to areas of the game that are familiar to me to see how they're going to be different. And that's pretty much the goal of DLC, right?
Yeah.
That's not just paywall crap.
Yeah, totally. And I kind of want to go with what you were saying too, Marty. So with what you were saying before, if I understand you right, your main concern with this is they are not, that this is something that I guess maybe instead it is kind of exacerbating your fears of, or making your fears of E3 even worse. Like every time they announce something between now and E3, it's like, oh crap, I hope they got stuff at E3
I'm not afraid of that. I'm just saying that I think it would have been a better time to release it, honestly. Again, Nintendo is rolling on the Switch hype train right now, right? I mean, 2.74 million systems sold in a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why not why not save every salvo of that you can for E3 so that you come out rolling hard after the presentation? All of this has been dropped because right now, to be honest, To me, the Nintendo 2DS XL, even the Shadows of Valencia stuff, it's all which they desperately need. Here in these early months. Like, why split your message? The message has been since the reveal in January. Switch.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the Switch train, and then all of a sudden, hey guys, here's new 2DS. Here's some DLC. Here's this, and it's kind of like, guys.
You know what? I think that's kind of going back to that though. There's a difference between them having multiple products on the market that are aimed at different demographics. Again, as if they can't do more than one thing at a time. I think that's they're speaking to different markets. They're speaking to different people. And the last thing that you want to do, and Nintendo has done this before, where they talk about something and they release something and then they go to radio silence for months. And the last thing that they want to do is go into radio silence mode all the way until E3. And so I would be surprised if they kind of give this.
Understandably, we get frustrated at them when that happens.
Yeah, and so I think that this is actually, my hope, and this is, talking about irresponsible high expectations. My hope is that they're getting this stuff out of the way because they want people to pay attention to this message. And they've got more important things to talk about at E3. They've got all the big software lineup at E3 to talk about. And the last thing they want to do is muddy their message at E3 and talk about 18 million things to the point where you don't even know what the hell they're talking about because they've got so many different things. Whereas I think last year is the perfect example. They had one huge message that they were going to drive home like crazy, and that was Breath of the Wild. And they spent an entire day telling the public only about that. And then they had a handful of games on day 2 that they decided to spotlight. And I think that that's actually more of what they're doing, is they're saying, let's not overwhelm everybody. Let's give everything, if we pepper it out over a longer period of time and we tell people, hey, here's this Zelda stuff before E3, then we can say, okay, well, now we don't have to worry about that. People know about that, and then we can remind them at E3. Granted, but we don't have to take up as much time during E3 to remind them about something that's coming because they already know about it. And so they're able to really drive home the big messages that they want to drive home, which is Splatoon 2, Fire Emblem Warriors, which I'm sure we'll see more of, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2, which I'm sure we'll probably see there, and of course Metroid, right, which everybody knows is coming, and so is Mother 3. So that's all but confirmed, right? That's
at least we hope so.
Right, so you know what I'm saying though, like that, and they will. I guarantee you, they'll bring it up again. They will remind people that Breath of the Wild exists, and that they will remind. I wouldn't be surprised if the DLC drops during E3, just to remind people how amazing Breath of the Wild is, and everybody's going to be super excited about Breath of the Wild, and then they say, "Oh yeah, remember? Well, now you can go and play all this cool new stuff with the DLC, and here's all the cool stuff."
I think that's a perfect time to do it. To be honest,
they don't want to step on the toes of ARMS too much either, which is coming out after E3.
Yeah.
So
that's
who knows
true.
what they'll do.
Or the fingers of ARMS. Or the hands of ARMS. Anyways. By the way, the other thing, Breath of the Wild related that we haven't talked about yet is there was a really cool patch that came out for Breath of the Wild yesterday? Whenever this was announced. It was released at the same time, which has a really cool new feature, and I kind of gave these guys a little bit of a demo of it earlier before the show, but you now can go into the options of the game. I don't know if you can do it from within here. Let me take a quick look here. The options you can. So if you go to the options menu
it has to be the options from the main menu, not from the options in game.
Right. In fact, it says you can only change the voice language from the title screen, return to the title screen. Yeah. So basically what it will do, though, is it will change anytime there is voiceover, you can now select what language you want to use. And so one of the big complaints when this was launched was, oh, well, I actually, I watched the Zelda trailer in Japanese and then I watched it in English, and I would way rather play it in Japanese and then have the English subtitles. And it used to be that you couldn't do that. Now you can. So you can go into the voice language.
You could
and
do it, but you had to have set your system to Japanese.
Right, and then all the text is
And then
Japanese
everything's
too.
Japanese, and then
So
it
you
just
don't
makes a big mess.
you lose you lose everything. So and let me tell you, like I watched several of the cutscenes in Japanese instead of English, and I am here to tell you that I am not changing my voice language back to English. The voice performance of especially the scene that I played for you guys, that despair, I think is what the memory's called. Wow, the difference in that voice actress who plays Zelda, it's just a totally different performance. It's a different take on it, and there's a level of like raw vulnerability and emotion that's in that that scene where she's just wailing with sort of, and we had kind of said too that there's like the fanboys are like, oh, why is Zelda crying? It's like, no, you get it and you feel it, and it's got some oomph to it that the English voiceover, I mean, she did a fine job. It was fine, but it was a different take, and it was a different sort of interpretation of that moment, and it has so much more weight in the Japanese version.
Yeah. The
So
problem I had with the memories is, they are intended to be played in an order, but you don't necessarily receive them in that order. So I think the first one.
The first one, pretty much everybody gets it the first, right? Because you've seen it before.
No, that was one of the last ones I got.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that first one was the first one that I saw.
And so I didn't. So I basically saw the story backwards, and I was wondering, why does she's even in English, her, like, the voice acting just didn't seem to be as thrilled as it was earlier. But then I realized, that was intentional. She wasn't very thrilled at the start of the game, and as she got to know Link more, and up until the despair scene, and she then started getting a little bit more chipper.
Yeah.
So it makes sense seeing it in order. That was one thing that bothered me, just because I saw them out of order.
Did you watch them? Did you go back and watch them in order, like all of them in order? Have you done that?
I need to. I should.
You can actually find them on YouTube as well. Like, there are people who have just kind of spliced them all together. It's about a half an hour long to watch all of the cutscenes, like end to end. But you really do get the story of the game at that point.
It's one of those things. Cool. I might like screen cap it and just like save it as a movie and put it in my iTunes library.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty cool. I like it. In fact, now that this patch is out, I wonder if people are going and doing the same thing with the Japanese voiceover, because it's very cool. I really, really liked that. It's got that. It's awesome. Marty, do you have any thoughts on that, or any?
Probably not going to play it with different voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Care about that kind of thing?
Yeah, I probably
it's not my cup of tea.
Just because you know my history with that. So, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, it wouldn't be the same game if it was spoken in English.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that what you played me earlier of the Japanese voiceover for Zelda was infinitely better than what we got here. And I know, I say that with absolutely no disrespect, and trying not to have disrespect for the actress who played Zelda, but it just
hits you.
There's a lot more emotion there, and I honestly don't feel like the British accent worked really well for the English dub. Yeah, for sure. It's something else. It was really cool. So, right on. Okay, next up here, we just got a few other things. For everybody who was, let's talk about this other DLC pack. I don't think we need to go through as much with this Fire Emblem Echoes DLC pack. There are 5 packs coming from May 19th through mid-June. And if you want to buy the season pass, it's $45 US, which is...
So the press release says that it saves more than 30% compared to buying them individually. But my math disagrees. The full. I'm only seeing a savings of about $7, so it's about like 13%.
is that the press release that we got? Because I think that the press release that oh my gosh, it's $63.59 in the
these are U.S. prices, so these will be more in Canada.
Ouch!
Yeah, because I get the U.S. PRs as well, not just the Canada.
Oh,
is this the most expensive DLC season pass that Nintendo has done yet?
Possibly.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
I would like to see the numbers, and I mean, I'm sure they're there because they're doing this of like how many people purchased DLC from Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the model has to be there for them to do this, but this is a ton of content, but that's a very expensive season pass, like unheard of for a mobile game,
that's
for
like
a handheld game.
Okay, so 22 pieces of content for $63. That is like, I mean, I'm just doing like real crazy simple math, but that's like almost $3 per level, right? Like, that's insane. I don't know. We'll see. So that's so basically we've got 5 different DLC packs that are doing different maps. If you've played any of the DLC, I remember in Fire Emblem Awakening when they first did that, I did get a few of the DLC packs and stuff like that. And it was fun but like 22 different things here, 20 different pieces of content. I need to know more about this game. It's coming out in like 2 weeks, which I just realized. And so that's interesting. I'm wondering if Nintendo's going to send us a copy of this because I am interested in it, but I don't know if I
think I'm going to skip this one.
I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. So
I bought the last couple of Fire Emblems and never finished them. So I'm probably going to. I'm not spending any time at all with my 3DS right now, so there's no way I can buy this and do it justice.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if they were to send every single one of us a copy, I mean, I'll give it a whirl. And
yeah,
but just feeling that out there.
Yeah,
but exactly. I mean, like, I'm the type of person like I like the idea of Fire Emblem until I play it. And then I'm like, I get analysis paralysis. Like, if I go up here, then they're going to come down here, Now, and I like the dungeon aspect of this. I think this is probably going to be different enough for me to fall into it. But man, I'd love a demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this game
I'd
comes
love
out
to
May
just
19th.
do more demos. Period.
Yeah, this game comes out May 19th, which is the day the DLC 1 is available, and you can buy the season's pass on day 1.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's
and they do kind of detail a little bit what's in each pack. Like the first pack is meant for the early to mid game, and then as it goes on, then it's meant for more later game content.
Yeah, I don't know. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. It's we'll see. So that's coming out in a couple weeks. So I'm interested to hear more about that. I don't know if I'm particularly interested in getting it, but we'll see. Next up here, Marty, you love yourself some Rabbids, right? Apparently this Rabbids game is real.
You're throwing me under the Rabbids bus here. So back when the Switch was still vaporware and, not vaporware, but we didn't know much about it. The rumor was that there was going to be a Mario and Rabbids crossover game out of nowhere, that was going to be somewhere along the lines possibly of Mario RPG or something like that. And then came the Switch reveal and the January 12th event where we saw Mario Odyssey, and there was a rabbit, right? There's rabbits and they're enemies. And it's possible that the eyes that are under Mario's hat are rabbit eyes as well, because the other rabbit enemies have those. So that rumor kind of fell by the wayside for a while until this week when a Kotaku editor tweeted, and this guy is somebody who has a verified check mark next to his name. So, I mean, you have to do something to get those. Basically, I've seen the game. It's real. It uses a Snowdrop engine that is owned by Ubisoft. It's coming. Get ready. And so this insider claims that the game will be an RPG of some nature, and that unique selling points will be turn-based combat, 2-player local co-op, and a goofy sense of humor, which you would probably have to have with the Rabbids. The game will also apparently have 8 playable characters, which are Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Peach, and in a weird twist, 4 Rabbids dressed up as Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Peach. So I'm guessing this is going to be an E3 reveal, and that Nintendo is probably pretty ticked off that this info has leaked.
I don't understand. Like, I'm getting from these leaks.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm getting a vibe of the like a Puzzle and Dragons Mario edition. I don't know why that's the feeling I'm getting when I hear these leaks. Yeah. But that's the feeling that I get. It's like something is not quite right with this matchup, and hopefully they pull it off. But it's weird. I don't know if it
ends up being like an RTS type game, or it ends up being like a Fire Emblem type, grid based game, like Jesse was saying he'd heard it might be earlier. I don't know. Like, but here's the thing. Like, the first question that came to mind when I first heard about this is why Rabbids?
Yeah,
like that. Like that is the most odd choice for
Ubisoft was developing it, so that's why Rabbids.
Right. Well, I mean Ubisoft, yeah, but like, why not Rayman? If you want to throw a character in there that's going to draw people, like,
yeah.
Or is this an entry level RPG or whatever?
I don't think Rayman has the draw as it used to.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I would also say that if this happens, and this is real, and they walk out, during the digital event and release this or talk about it, you can pretty much confirm Rayman for Smash.
Ugh.
That will eventually come out.
Yeah,
he's going to be there.
Better Rayman than a Rabbid.
I don't want this. I just don't want this. Like, of all the things that I want out of E3, this is not one of those things.
I want to see it. Like, I don't want to pass judgment on it yet. I want to see it. I want to at least get some gameplay features from it.
Yeah.
And see what it's going to be like, because, it could be a good game.
Could be.
Yeah. Keep in mind, too, that when people first saw ARMS, people were like, what is this crap? And now a lot of people are going, man, this looks awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be.
Splatoon. When people first saw Splatoon,
I think that ramen lady kind of turned some people around.
Those were all developed by Nintendo, though. Right? I think that's the big difference here. Is that Nintendo develops those, and Nintendo is not behind this game. This is an Ubisoft game. So, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. Next up here, we've got the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the fastest selling Mario Kart game of all time. 49% attach rate to Switch owners and climbing already.
That's in the U.S., not necessarily worldwide, but just U.S. numbers.
Right. And they've already crossed the 1 million mark, right? That happened just before the show.
Yeah, that broke just before we started recording. That's 1 million worldwide. So which puts it at about like a 35% attach rate worldwide.
Right. Yeah. Which is crazy still. Like I think that's insane that's it shouldn't be honestly
than the 3% of people who are buying Mario Run.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's an interesting game. It's really awesome. I'm really liking it. I
can say in my house that game has a 66% attach rate.
Nice.
I'm the one who does not own it.
Here's the thing with this game is that, like, as far as Mario Kart, and I think, by the way, 200,000 Neo Geo downloads and climbing on Switch. I don't really have anything else to say about that. I think that we really can get into what we've been playing in just a second. I don't really care about Neo Geo games. But actually, let's just get straight into what we've been playing, because we got stuff to say about this game. So let's do it. All right. So let's get straight into Mario Kart. I got one of these, by the way. I got 2 of them. I guess they sell them in packs of 2. Did anybody else get these?
I did.
The Wii Wheel things.
My kids have no interest in those.
Yeah,
I bought them specifically for my kids.
Yeah, so did I. Actually, I don't know if I don't necessarily think I'll use.
And really, for $15 US, that's almost a steal. Like,
Well, I love that they've got these little the shoulder buttons. Like the shoulder buttons on these are great. They're
there's been a mixed review of those online. I saw that Alex Olney from Nintendo Life hates those buttons, and then I see other people who say, "Man, these buttons are great. They work just fine."
They do have a lot of travel on them, and I can see that, and I may get the little, what does he have? The little
belt pads.
Bumpers. I have some of those, so I may actually try that because they do have a lot of travel on them. But I
actually played with one not long after getting the game, and I normally don't use tilt controls at all. I was very surprised at how responsive it is.
It's pretty good.
As somebody who has not used tilt controls since the early Wii days with Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at how responsive it was.
Yeah, it's I'll admit it, I'm playing a race right now and I'm losing. But so
top quality here at Nintendo Dads, folks.
Yeah, so basically the I mean, where do you start? This is the definitive version of this game, obviously.
Absolutely.
I think that this is the best Mario Kart game. Like Mario Kart 8 was already really, really good, especially if you included all the DLC. But if you really included, if you include the DLC, you include the fact that it's just an amazing game from what it was, and then you add it on in the battle mode, which I honestly have played more battle mode online than the racing, because I have fallen in love with the battle mode in this game. It is so fun. It is really good time.
They did a great job of differentiating the modes from each other, so it doesn't just feel like you're playing the same battle mode over and over and over.
Yeah, for sure. The
bomb blast, like the little subtleties of that, like holding down the trigger longer to throw the bomb farther.
Yeah.
Or like being able to have like 11 bombs in your stockpile and just dropping a line of them behind you. It's nuts. Like Bomb Blast is insane, but I love Renegade Roundup. So much fun.
It's so good. Yeah, the Renegade Roundup, for those of you who don't have the game, it's like a cops and robbers sort of game where my only complaint is I wish there was some like a little bit better visual indication of being able to tell who is you've got to be on the ball with that. Because,
you can't tell till they're very close.
Yeah, you can't tell, and it's almost like you can't react in time, so you're just kind of passing in the night.
I think the two of them that I really don't play as much, and Coin Runners is probably my least favorite, and Shine Thief is probably right after that. Shine Thief is just it is, oh my gosh, it's a cluster. Let's just call it that. It is absolutely it's fun if you don't have the shine. I mean, if you have the shine, there's absolutely no way to hold on to that for longer than, a few seconds, which I guess is part of the appeal. But I like to be able to have that kind of breakaway moment where, you've got it for at least 15 seconds or more.
Yeah.
But man, I was playing it the other day on the SNES, the Mario Battle Course, I guess Mario Battle Course 1 or whatever it's called.
Sure.
And I just could not keep hold of it.
Yeah, it's pretty challenging. I played once where I did actually end up completely I managed to hold on to it for a long time. I can't remember what it was. I think it was on the Lunar Colony level, and I basically just went into some corner and drove around in circles, and then I won. But but it's it is a really fun. It's just a great mode, and just all the battle mode in general. I mean,
it's been super cool to play online with members of the community as well.
Yeah, the Coin Runners, I think. The interesting, I don't know if this is even a decent strategy, but Coin Runners, it seems like know what map you're on, and then for example, I played a round of Coin Runners and I literally just drifted in a circle around that center area for the entire round and I won. I was like, how did this even work? That feels like it shouldn't work, but it did. So I really am enjoying the.
Well, and I mean, racing online. I mean, without saying, that's fun too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah. It's just a great version of this game, and
have you noticed though that there does seem to be some kind of I don't know if I want to call it lag or latency issue, and I don't want to be that guy who's like he's winning, so he's cheating, or whatever. But I have noticed some animation errors. It seems like online, especially like the other night I was playing online with a few guys, and there was somebody who I swear to you, I would hit them with a red shell, and they would like the coins would be there from where it hit, but they would just keep going. Yeah, and I'm not the only one who's complained about that. I've seen it popping up online in some places.
I haven't experienced that, but I wonder what I have experienced is like straight up communication problems. And I wonder if maybe they're a little bit caught off guard at I've had several connectivity issues to the point where it's like, okay, their servers are overwhelmed. And I wonder if that maybe is part of that.
And I wanted to bring that up, and I'm glad you said that, because I do have one negative about this, and it may be just a negative about the Switch in general. I was for the first time since owning a Switch, I was around other people Saturday who have Switches, and all of us had Mario Kart 8. So I was like, well, this is a fantastic opportunity to use wireless play, right? The local play.
Yep.
In an hour, we played one match.
Really?
Every time that we would get in there, communication error, over and over and over. There was not a match that we played in that entire hour, except for one, where someone did not drop out.
And this was wireless play. This wasn't.
And this was wireless play, and this was Switches that were sitting on a fold-up table, not 5 feet from each other.
And so you were doing like two people on a single Switch in like tabletop?
A couple of them had two people on the same Switch. One was docked and was playing two people, and then some people were just playing it in handheld mode. But all of them were connected to the same lobby, and then there were some times that we couldn't even get past the lobby before the communication error happened.
And this was all wireless play, not online play.
Yeah, this was all wireless play. In fact, as far as communication errors online, I've had 0, which has been incredible.
I was having issues with my brother, actually. He messaged me. He was like, hey, let's play some Mario Kart online. And so I jumped into a match, and he tried to connect to mine, using the friends thing. And it said, sorry, you've already, this particular thing doesn't have any more connections, or whatever it says, right? And I'm like, really? So like he's trying to join my game so that we can play together, but because that my game has already been filled with random strangers, he can't join my game. And I'm like, isn't there some way that, like, I'm pretty sure Mario Kart 8 like prioritized friends in the matchmaking system. So you would jump into that person's game, and then it would boot somebody out into a different game with a bunch of other random strangers.
I didn't ever really play it online, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that was my experience, but it was like, okay, well that seems stupid. I literally am spectating this round because I just joined it, and he can't even join my match.
Well, and they're actually one of my friends, and he's the one who kind of came up with a solution for this. Is he said that there's already a huge issue online for people who are doing getting communication errors, that you go in and manually set your DNS to 8.8.8.8, which are Google's DNS servers, and that fixed some of it. So we all went in and did that. And, it seemed to help for a little bit, but then we were back to communication error over and over and over again. Now, playing online, we would get nothing. But, and I guess we could have just got online, and played, because he has awesome internet at his house.
I don't think he would attempt to use a DNS servers on an ad hoc play.
But with the local wireless, like, the whole selling point is, you can attach up to 8 systems together and play. Well, do I have to like hold them up next to each other and touch them together? For it to work?
They have to kiss.
Yeah,
it didn't make sense. It was very frustrating because all of us were super excited about Mario Kart, and
Or to
It's
go-
like, well, I guess we'll go do something else.
to repeat a joke from last week, they have to high five.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Maybe it's something in the game code or something, and they can issue a patch for that. But
And I think maybe part of it too, maybe this is them, this game is coming out. This is the first real online game for the Switch. They have not, unleashed their online plans yet. And maybe some of that is just still being figured out in the back. That is what I'm hoping. And what I'm hoping is that this game will get a significant patch when that online stuff comes. And maybe we even get DLC for this game.
I think DLC for this game is a no-brainer. I think it's happening.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see Nintendo cross-promote its upcoming big releases through DLC in this game.
Yeah.
I think there will be, I almost have no doubt there will be a Metroid,
An arms racer.
track, and or racer, Samus racer, and there will be an arms racer as well.
I don't know about ARMS. I wonder about that. I'm looking at this like they have promoted their three, what I would say, at least this is in Japan, mind you, but the three biggest franchises in Nintendo, other than Mario for Nintendo, are, at least currently as far as hype in Japan, Animal Crossing, Zelda, Splatoon. Those are the big Japanese franchises. So I'm wondering, what is the next thing that you add here? What franchise, if we are going to do that, what franchises are missing? You're saying Metroid, maybe? I can see that. I actually think it would make sense looking at this. I literally just have the Amiibo screen open right now. I bet you they throw Kirby in. I think you throw Kirby into Mario Kart. That makes total sense.
This is his 30th anniversary, right? Or 25th?
Yeah, you could do a Kirby.
Oh, that would be a super thing to do.
Yeah, so they throw Kirby
Especially
in there.
with like 2 other games coming out later this year.
Yeah.
He rides a star. That could be his car.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be so cool.
A star with wheels.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna guarantee. Here's what I think it might be too. We just have they're gonna throw a Fire Emblem character in there.
oh gosh. Yeah.
It's gonna be Crom or
yeah.
Marth.
Yeah, they'll throw. They'll throw Marth.
Are they going to ride unicorns?
That actually makes way more sense than I initially sort of expected. Because that is exactly the Animal Crossing and Zelda sort of thing that they did last time, right? So
it's an image that we retweeted yesterday. It said, "Here's an image of a Splatoon character riding an F-Zero kart in a Zelda track on a Mario game."
And then someone added using a Donkey Kong item.
Yeah. So at some point, I think.
How meta do you want your meta game to go?
The evolution of this game eventually can we just say is going to be Smash Kart or Nintendo Kart?
Yeah,
it's going to be not Mario Kart 8, but the next iteration of the series. That's what everybody would like to see, I think.
Yeah.
Except for I don't think they'll ever lose the name.
Mario Kart?
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever lose the name. But looking at this, so I'm on the Smash Brothers website now. So here's some potential characters that they could add as DLC characters. So we have Samus, right? We haven't got Samus in here. We've got Kirby. I think Kirby is very likely if they were to do it. We've got any sort of Pokemon characters with Pikachu. I because of the weird.
That's not happening.
It's got some weird licensing stuff going on there. So I don't think Pokemon's gonna
Fox
happen.
McCloud is way more of a chance.
Yeah.
Than Pikachu.
Yeah.
Have a motorcycle shaped like a chicken walker.
Yeah.
Don't Jesse stop.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on a roll. What are you talking
about?
Like
an R-wing with wheels attached, just like the Blue Falcon. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Only if when you go to the level, like they have a level figured out there, like on Corneria or something, and you've got to have the original like sort of
voice. Good luck. Before you start. Good luck.
So we've also got like Marth. I think we said that. Again, more Fire Emblem characters. Diddy Kong. Actually, it'd be interesting if they had like a crossover callback to like Diddy Kong Racing or something. Maybe bring back like a retro level from Diddy Kong Racing and put it in this game. I don't know if they would do that, but that would be cool. Pikmin, they could do a Pikmin level, maybe. That they seem to love Pikmin lately. Like, I can see them maybe doing a Pikmin level where you're like shrunk down and everything's really huge, driving by Duracell batteries.
Now, I mean, all this talk is well and good, but it's brought up the fact that everybody knows who the next DLC character is going to be. And you and I both know, we all know it's Chibi Robo.
Oh, jeez. No, I think that they are perfectly happy just throwing him to the wayside.
What about Box Boy? Box Boy in the game?
No, I think Box Boy would be a good character. You know who it really is? It's Bayonetta. That's who it is.
Bayonetta cart
in Smash.
It's just a cart made out of her hair, and she's sitting naked inside.
It's terrible.
Explain that one to your kids.
Yeah. What, Daddy? Why is
Mario Kart After Dark?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that's Mario Kart. I don't know. Is there anything that we missed talking about?
I mean, I just think that it's a super fantastic game, and it's like, can we call it a must own for the Switch? I
Absolutely.
mean, if you have a Switch and you don't have this game,
unless you don't like Mario Kart, but who doesn't like?
Well,
Mario?
I mean, I guess you might not like Mario Kart. I don't think Jesse likes Mario Kart, so that's okay. But like, if you have a passing interest in any kind of racing game, why not have this game? And party games too.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I just want to insert this here, and I want to say this because the good folks at Jackbox Games provided us with a code for the party pack not long ago. So we've been on vacation with my in-laws for the last 3 days, and we spent at least 2 hours every day playing Jackbox Party Pack with my in-laws who are in their 60s, who thought it was absolutely hilarious.
I'm hoping we get the same thing going on this week.
Trivia murder party with my 60-something-year-old father-in-law was amazing. It was amazing. And like, I'm going to be honest with you, it made me wish that we had all the other releases as well, so that because by night 2 we'd played through all the games, and like we enjoy playing those games, but I was like, oh, man, you guys would love Fibbage, or you would love this, and it just wasn't there. So I'm hoping that they get enough sales and they release, because Pack 4 is coming out soon.
Oh,
They just announced Pack 4 is coming this fall, and the first game announced from it is Fibbage 3.
Sweet.
Nice.
That's awesome. The one thing I wanted to add to Mario Kart 8, by the way, to go back to that for one sec, that we didn't talk about, that I think is, especially for being Nintendo dads, is the drive assist that we haven't talked about yet in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Have either of you guys tried this? Marty, have you?
Well, I played one game with my kids, and I'm playing, and I'm thinking, is drive assist on?
It's on by default.
And they didn't know, and I realized, it's on by default. And I'm like, okay, that explains why it's not doing exactly everything I'm wanting it to do, which made me drive better, because otherwise I would have just crashed. But it still was awkward.
It's very awkward if you're not used to it, yeah.
My daughter can finally play Mario Kart with us.
Yeah, mine too.
It's for parents of little kids. It is so awesome for parents of kids who are disabled or whatever differently abled kids. We've seen stories of this already, right? That it is like Nintendo has done something that a lot of companies want to be able to do, but haven't been able to do, which is to make a game that is gorgeous, fun, and accessible to a large range of people now. I mean, they've even made it where you can have acceleration always turned on.
Mm-hmm.
So that you don't have to do that. You can steer, but you don't have to accelerate.
Yeah, which
is really cool.
Which you think, why in the world would you do that? And then you realize that when I give this to my 4-year-old daughter, this is how she plays. Like, her hands are all over this thing. She's not thinking about pushing buttons. She just wants to steer, right? And so I kid you not, earlier today, I was like, hey, let's play this game. And I sit her down next to me. I'm like, all right, Kylie, just sit down. She's like, I want to be Princess Peach. And she's just all excited and sits down. And I give her the wheel. And I'm like, listen, I'm trying to unlock the gold cart here. I'm trying to unlock all this. I go on 150 cc's. And she's just playing along, right? She's going and she's having fun. And she gets like the first race, she gets like 11th, right? And I'm like, holy crap, she didn't get last place. And she's in 150 cc. And then the rest of them, I think the last 2 rounds, she was about a lap behind me at one point, because steer assist, while wonderful, you can still derail. You won't drive off, but if you're literally driving in almost the opposite direction in every case, and you're holding the thing sideways, right? And she's just like having a good time. And after a couple of rounds, she's still just like, whatever, I'm done. But we got through the circuit at least, or the Grand Prix mode, I guess is what.
Did you see Alex's video talking about this was before the game launched. He talked about he ran an experiment. He put the game on steer assist and accelerator assist. So I think it was just a 50cc match, and just let it go. He didn't touch it after that, and he still ended up golding the Grand Prix.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty cool though, and even for my son too, right? Like he same thing, like auto everything, but he's just like he's good enough that he could at least play, right? He's still going to end up not doing great in the game, but he's going to do enough that he can sit down, and he's 6. So I don't know.
When you set up the tournament, are you able to shut those off?
Yes. Yes, you are.
And did you on that one tournament that is going on?
No.
You have to set it up ahead of time. Right, so if you have a tournament that allows smart steering, then you can turn it on and off. But if you have a tournament that does not allow steer assist, then you can't turn it on at all.
So you can just deactivate it.
Can deactivate it. In fact, and that is one of the things I do want to talk about is the tournament system. There is such a myriad of options when you're setting up a tournament. It can be kind of confusing, which we ran into earlier this week as we started our first tournament that's running the length of this week. We started one and I had to abandon it because I realized I'd made a setting wrong, and it stopped your point total after 4 matches.
Oh,
you were allowed to continue to play, but you weren't allowed to continue to accumulate points.
Oh wow. Okay.
So eventually people probably
like I imagine that's like, okay, well, you got your first 4 matches, and however many you get on those first 4, then that's whoever's the best, right? Whereas if you don't do that, then it's whoever played the most.
When my kids were playing with you that night, it looked like the steer assist was off. I don't know if the tournament is set to deny it or if they actually shut it off, because I could tell that my daughter was having a more difficult time than normal.
It was set to off because that's the first tournament that I played in this weekend with the Super Indie Podcast group. It set it to off.
Yeah,
I just think that's a fair way to do it online. I mean, if you're doing a tournament for kids or something,
especially if you're playing it with your friends that are all adults. I would say yes. Is probably the fairest way to go.
Yeah, for sure, right? Like that's. I mean, if you're going to do a tournament, then no baby mode, but
right.
But
speaking of, before we finish up and move on to another game, we are running a tournament, the Nintendo Dads Invitational. It's our first tournament that we've put up. This week is racing. Next week we'll do a battle mode tournament.
Yeah.
And so it's running. It began on Monday night at 6 p.m. and it's running through Friday night at 11 p.m. I think, or 11:30. And so you can go in there and play. Yeah, Central Time. That's right. Thank you for the reminder. You can go in there anytime, literally anytime, as long as there's people in there. You can race.
Yeah, my daughter tried hopping in earlier today, and the room was empty.
Yeah, we did set it to where there's no computer opponents, so it has to be real competition. So you can get in there with 2 or more people, but it will take you into a one race, but it wants to try to wait for other people. But we want you to you could search NDads Invitational, or just search NDads, because we had to we had to leave a bunch of letters out of invitation.
Or look for the tweet with the image.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah, you can't really search for that because you can't search for. I hate that.
You posted on our.
Yeah, it's on Twitter. It's actually a pinned post on our Twitter, so
There
you
you
can
go.
go on there and hop in the tournament.
Do it,
Maybe.
everybody.
I'm gonna try to play some tomorrow night, Thursday night,
Yeah.
today when you hear this, tonight.
We
whenever.
should set. My guess is that Friday night there's going to be a bunch of people too, and
Oh yeah.
it'll be a little bit more.
Well, and the Super Indie Podcast folks are running another 3-day tournament this weekend as well.
Very cool. Which that was a lot of fun too. It surprises me that more people were still in the racing and not in the battle.
I tried to switch back and forth.
Yeah.
I'd get tired of racing and I'd be like, well, let me go over and try battle mode. And
So how
Battle
many
Mo-
of you have unlocked Gold Mario?
have not.
Dude, you know how to get gold Mario?
How do you
You know-
do that?
You have to get a gold statue or a gold trophy on a 200cc on every cup.
Oh.
So screw that business. That's
Yeah,
gonna.
I can't even play at 150, much less 200.
Yeah, I'm currently working.
I've
on,
never played 200.
Oh, dude, it's turn on steer assist. Like,
Yeah, my daughter did. My daughter tried a few 200s with steer assist on, and did get 1 gold on a track, but she's got a lot to go.
it's rough, man. It's there's a lot of
Rainbow Road.
oh yeah, it's pretty difficult. So. Right on. As far as me, the other stuff I've been playing, I have been playing Puyo Puyo Tetris, which I downloaded during the show last week, and it's actually really fun. I really like it a lot.
Puyo Puyo Tetris is fun. It has the most nonsensical single player campaign or mode that I have ever seen in my entire life.
So,
I
are these
started.
characters supposed to be known? Like,
No.
Like, do they exist in other Puyo Puyo games or something?
No,
Because
no.
this game
So-
makes it sound like that we're supposed to know them. They introduce all the Tetris-based characters as if they're new, but like all the Puyo Puyo characters are like, oh, hi, this person is this friend. Okay, am I supposed to know
Generic-
this?
Generic anime girl 1, 2, and 3. That's basically who they are.
I am amused that the all of the crew members of the Tetris ship are it's like letters.
Yeah,
T-S-A-I-O.
they're all just different.
J.
Different. Yeah, they're it's weird. But yeah, I do like it. I actually one really small detail that I like in this game is that you can unlock skins for the game. So you can unlock like the retro skin for Puyo Puyo and like the classic blocks for Tetris. I mean, it doesn't change that much.
I love the fact that you can go in and there is a cheat code for this, by the way.
Oh,
That you
really?
can go in and you can, yeah, I'll link it to you guys here in just a minute. But it unlocks a ton of stuff. It doesn't unlock everything, but it unlocks a ton of stuff. And one of the things it unlocks is a skin for the Tetraminos that is the old Game Boy skin.
Like color
It's
and like
gray and it has the dots and the texture and all that.
dude.
And let me tell you how hard it is to play with that.
Really?
It's super hard because like it's such a contrast with all the bright colors of the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And I do want to do an actually just real quick that these are real characters that have been used in a game before.
Really?
At least the Puyo characters are. They some of them were used in a game called Puyo Puyo Quest that came out on April 24th in 2013 in the arcade iPhone, iPad, and Android. Amity and Arl and
And the
Carbuncle. And I think there's one. Is there the fish? There's a fish man.
I haven't seen
Is
a
it-
Fishman yet.
In Puyo Puyo Tetris, there's a fish man. I think maybe you have to unlock him. There's a
only-
fish man in this game. Ray and Rafine. I think, like I'm looking Ringo. There's a lot of these characters.
I didn't realize Puyo Puyo had such a extensive
Suk-
lore.
Suketudara, which is a giant fish with muscular arms and legs.
Wow.
But it also has some other weird characters in it, like this version, which it had Kate Sith in it.
Like from Final Fantasy VII?
No, they're just they're enemy characters that are a pair of Siamese cats.
I was gonna say, is that from Shin Megami Tensei? Because they have, I guess it's generic.
From the
I don't know.
Mado Monogatari series. I don't know, but I'm just throwing that out there because there will be that one person on the internet who will hear this and go, actually, there are real characters. So we just already corrected ourselves. So there.
Based on how they introduce themselves, that's what the impression that I got is that these must be a known commodity somewhere. I just don't know it.
Yeah, they I don't know. I very quickly started just skipping all of the cutscenes.
Can I ask this to, like, just in full disclosure, is anyone else absolutely terrible at this game?
I don't play it online, but
I'm decent at Tetris just because I've been playing it for
the Puyo part is really hard.
Yeah, and I remember back when we talked about it last week. The Kirby's Avalanche. I got good at that game. I don't remember how I was good at it because I'm not good. I had
anymore. Forgotten that they had released a Kirby Avalanche that was basically a Puyo game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was kind of like, I guess, to compete because like they had Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on the Genesis, which I loved. It was a fantastic version of that game.
Yeah, I said that I'm currently the level I'm stuck on. I think might be like 4-4 in the adventure mode. It is a swap, and it's the Puyo Puyo mode that just kills me every time.
Yeah, what world is it?
4-4.
Oh, see, yeah, I'm on like world 2 still. But yeah, no, that's interesting. It's a fun game. I like it. It's pretty. I don't really have a lot of interest playing it online, honestly.
I tried going online, and that'll probably be the last time I ever do.
Just in general, just like the internet.
Well, in this game, well, you know how I am with competitive online gamings. I don't. But yeah, right. The first game was a Tetris, which I was able to hold my own, but still lost. Then the second match was a Puyo, and the dude one-rounded me. Literally. He 15 comboed and drop. There's nothing I could do.
That is the worst feeling in the world, too, by the way. Like, it's like, oh, man, I set up this big combo. Oh, well, I guess I'll just hold down until I die now.
Yeah. I love the idea.
I didn't even have to. I was dead after the drops. He filled my screen with garbage.
I love the idea that you just never go on the internet ever again because of that. Just not just this game, but just like the internet is
done. I'm so disgraced that I cannot show my face on the internet.
He just walks over to his router and unplugs it and throws it in the garbage, and he's done.
No, my router is attached to my wall right here. I can't take it out.
The main way that I play this game is with my wife. She likes puzzle games. And so it's a way to talk her into playing video games with me. Like, say you want to do this, she's like, yeah, as long as we just play Tetris.
But my son also picked up this game, so we played a little competitive, and he's still learning as well the Tetris. But Puyo Puyo, we were both on equal grounds of not knowing what's going on, and we both had just a 4-chain. That was completely random, lucky. We didn't plan this at all, and it just wiped out the other person right away.
Oh.
Now, if all I have to figure out is how to do this on purpose.
Yeah.
Then I can hold my own.
For sure. Very cool. Marty, you've been playing Tumbleseed. I haven't played a ton more Tumbleseed this week. I talked about it quite a bit last week. What are your thoughts on this game, man?
I love Tumbleseed. I think it's amazing. And I think it's one of the indie games that's out right now that everybody on their Switch needs to own because it's so unlike everything else that's out there.
Yeah.
It is absolutely one of the most difficult games I've ever played in my life.
How far have you gotten?
Like, it's probably better to ask just like, what's your, like, how far have you not gotten?
Right.
Like one time I think I made it up I almost made it to the second area,
Oh wow.
you know,
So-
like up the thing. And I crashed and burned. Like I got to go. I basically I got to moving too fast.
Well, that's the biggest thing with that game is like, okay, well, just because you can go that fast doesn't mean you should. Like it actually is very much about like very slowly, steadily making your way up that mountain.
And then there's an example like today. I was playing it on the way home as we were driving home, or I was riding, wasn't driving and playing Tumbleseed, but
just put it, prop it up on the dashboard, Joy-Con in each hand.
Yeah. No, I died in 15 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it spawned me in between like 3 really large holes, and the top one had the explosive worm thing in it. So it immediately blew me up as soon as I tried to go up. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But no, I mean, like between the art style and the music and the sound effects, and just it's frustrating yet it's soothing at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very, very challenging.
It's very challenging, but like the music's so chill and very ambient, you know, and I just think it's brilliant. I think it's such a cool thing. I'm glad I finally get to talk about it, you know, because they didn't want us to till it came out. But I think that it's $15 well spent for you if you're looking for a new game. And I love too that I saw somebody talk about how it's like a natural co-op game. Because you can split those, like the Joy-Cons off, and have each player control one side of it.
I can't imagine doing that. I think that would be a nightmare.
No, but I mean, it works.
I think it's IGN, but someone's doing a podcast where they're doing that with one person holding Joy-Con left, someone else is controlling Joy-Con right, and they're playing Zelda.
That's nightmare. That's nightmare fuel right there.
Yeah,
I actually
imagine it
once with my son, but because I knew they were doing that.
But yeah, I like Tumbleseed's great. I think it's super cool.
I basically know that I have done, like I benchmark. Did I get another seed? Right? Did I manage to pick up another seed?
Did you get the help seed?
Yeah. Did I get like the additional? Because I think the higher up you get, the further you get. Right? The more seeds you get.
Yeah. Like I think there's one for each section of the mountain. You know, there's some, and like there's the 4 main seeds that you can turn into. Yeah. Flag seed. I call it fight seed. I don't know what
Thorn seed.
Thorn seed. That's it. Flag seed, thorn seed, crystal seed, and heart seed.
Yeah.
And which I always forget about the heart seed.
Well, the problem with the heart seed is that I think it takes 4 checkpoint things, and you have to spend a crystal for each one of them. So yeah, it's pretty expensive. It's a pretty pricey.
But it's definitely a game that you got to think about, like as far as resource management and placement of the seed, and there's so much working at it, and it's so good.
It's really fun.
Can't say enough good about it.
Yeah, very cool. Jesse, what about you, man? What have you been playing? Good. Oh, sorry, both of you guys have been playing something here. Sorry, Marty, you had one more thing.
Yeah, Kamiko, I'll let Jesse talk about this because it's a traditional retro top-down RPG, which is right up his alley.
Yeah, it's made by the same people who made Faerun, which I talked about like 2 years ago, on the 3DS. I'm not very far into this yet. I'm like only in the second area, but
is it? It's like apparently it's only like 2 hours.
It's four areas. I beat it. I started it and beat it in the same day.
Yeah, okay. I've been hearing that the game is like an hour and a half long, depending on how skillful you are.
My final time was like 56 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I beat the first area in under 15 minutes, so I'm on the same path.
Now, but don't take that as a negative.
No,
because this is one of those games that it's not it's such a fun game. Like it's a well done game, but it's good that it's brief. It's almost like a bite size. Like I tried to explain it to a friend of mine like this. Like, you know how I can't, like, there's some food that is really good, and it's good because like it's so rich, but like more than a bite or more than just a little sample would be too much. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, to me, that's Kamiko.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Faerun is also short. I don't remember how long it took me, maybe 2 hours to beat it. I think it only cost like $3 to buy that. It costs $5 for Kamiko, so it's cheap. They think
what's the purpose of this game? Like, what's the hook?
Okay, you start off. You're able to choose between three different characters. Each has a different weapon type. There's a sword, an archer, and a boomerang, I think.
Yeah, I think that's. I haven't played the last one. It looked like a dagger or a boomerang. I couldn't be.
Yeah. And so, like, is there enough like replayability that you could go and play through it with each one of those, and you'd feel like you would want to do that, or not necessarily?
I don't know yet. I'm not that far in, but I'm currently playing with the archer. Yeah,
I played with the sword shrine girl first, and moved over to the archer. That there's definitely a learning curve with the archer that's not there for the sword. The sword is very quick, very hack and slash. Run in, run out. The archer is because each character has a combo attack. Like if you tap the attack button multiple times, for the sword it's like slashing and dashing toward the enemy. With the archer, it's one arrow, then two arrows, then three arrows that fire out in an arc. So you definitely have to plan, especially since there's no diagonal shooting. You can't shoot diagonal. It's either up, down, left, or right. That's it.
And there's a lot of kind of like Zelda-ish puzzles where you've got to pick up a key and find the lock, or pick up an orb and place it on its pedestal. But while you're doing that, you can't fight, nor can you get hit. Otherwise, you drop it. And it's not like Zelda where it's just room by room. It's the whole area scrolls in top-down view. So like if you enter a meadow, creatures will spawn, you kill them, go up and get your orb, and then as you go back down, they'll respawn. So you've got to watch where you're walking and find another path to where the pedestal is. So yeah, these creatures will constantly respawn as you move the camera away.
And there's no let the orb drop and go back and pick it up later. I mean, you can pick it up from the treasure chest you got it out of. So
right. You have to go back and get it again.
And I will tell you, Jesse, coming up, there's a level where you have to walk across the entire map.
Oh boy!
With a key, and there's monsters that are shooting stuff at you and appearing out of nowhere and chasing you.
Great.
And there's a dash. The crazy thing about it is the game gives you a dash button. When you're not holding anything, but when you're holding something, that's all you can do is walk. So there's this challenge to that as well.
Yeah, then each stage, I don't know if it increases later on, but basically there's 4 shrines you have to activate to open up the pathway to the next that leads to the boss. And then when you beat the boss, you'll get some rewards like increased max health and increased max. I don't even know what I'm carrying, but it starts off with maximum of 200 of something. You spend 50 to open a chest, and you spend 100 to activate a shrine. And then as you kill things, this value increases up to its maximum, and you can increase that maximum by picking up certain items, just like you can increase your maximum health. So there is a manual that I tried to read, but I'm like, nah, I don't care. I'll just keep on playing.
Nice. Yeah, I see. This is becoming a habit of mine. This is the problem with me having a Switch right next to me. I just bought this game because
you're not going to regret it. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's $7 here, but I feel like for that. I'm also
there's at least
I want
3 plays in there. Think about it that way.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 plays, because if you play with each character, which does actually, like, the levels are not different, but each character has enough difference in the feel of control that it makes the game feel different and new.
Yep.
So I mean, you're gonna like it.
On Friday, I heard a lot of people in the line chat talking about it, and it sounded interesting. And I'm like, oh, I should look into that. And I completely forgot about it until I heard NWR's episode that they recorded last week, where they brought it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll definitely check that out. That's that
was totally a line chat sale for me as well. It is dangerous for me to be in line chat, especially when games are that. I mean, on if you think about like okay, $5 game. What do you expect? You're not. You don't expect much, right? You will definitely get more than you expect with Kamiko.
And if you've played Faerun before, this is kind of like a natural progression of that game. So it's nothing surprising that I'm not seeing anything groundbreaking, but I'm not seeing anything I'm not surprised to see either. So if you liked that game, if you played it, check this one out.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, well, I haven't played those, but for the price that they're asking, I really don't have any problem just paying, to support the developers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's cool. Right on. Jesse, what else have you been playing, good sir?
Okay, so this is the last time I'll bring this up, but I finished the initial run of Pick-a-Pix Color, like the Color Picross game on 3DS, which is also on Wii U, I think. Yeah, it was released to both, but I wanted it on 3DS. So apparently I did my math wrong. I thought it was 12 puzzles per page and 10 pages. No, there was 15. So the 150 puzzles for the $5, which I say that's worth it. What I found out after I beat it is there is DLC packs you can buy that range from 30 to 45 puzzles per pack. Some, and they tell you which one exactly. This one's meant for the smaller to mid-sized puzzles. This pack is mainly the larger puzzles, so you know what you're getting into. But for $2 each, and they had, I think, 7 or 5 or 7 different packs available. And to only get 30 or 45 puzzles for your $2 after you gave me 150 puzzles for $5, I'm thinking, I think I'll pass on the DLC. Thank you.
Yeah. Seriously.
If it was like similar value, like for $2, give me 75 puzzles, I probably would have done that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, they're asking for $4 for 75 puzzles, which no. I'm good.
Yeah. Right on.
And then, I played more of Blaster Master Zero. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I remember the original NES game. I remember liking it. Thought it was an interesting concept, but it got really hard at the end, and I never finished it. So this is kind of like taking like the Metroid Zero mission and remake style of like the original Metroid. So it's like basically a remake of the original game, but changing some things around, making save points. That's a big plus. So before you only had a limited number of lives, and then you had game over, and you had to start over. So here, there's pretty much infinite amount of lives. You just go back to the same last checkpoint. They've added additional rooms that you can for mini dungeons to explore to get some extra power ups. I don't remember much about how the original game worked, but seeing maps of the original game and some screenshots, like all the big bosses are there, just looking slightly different. Obviously, everything's been ramped up, scaled up a little bit, even though it still looks pixelated. It's still a 720p game. But so I'm enjoying it. I think I finished the 5th, maybe 6th area I think it's been a few days since I went back to it, so I think I'm near the end of the game now. Being able to save it is definitely a plus, and being able to pick it up, play for 15 minutes, put it down again, it definitely helps. Where you couldn't do that on the NES. There's no save states.
The map system is actually really good on that too. So I mean, it pretty much tells you exactly where you need to go. I'm in the 5th area right now.
Yeah, that helps too. Yeah, because it'll tell you.
The only negative that I would have to say about Blaster Master Zero is that whoever programmed this game went nuts with HD Rumble, and they don't need to let them anywhere near that again. It's seriously, if I could turn it off, I would.
I think I played it after a patch, which actually toned it down.
It toned it down, but still,
it's still crazy.
Like like when you're there's a charge shot for the tank, and when you're charging it, like the entire time that you're holding it, it's rumbling. And I get it. I get why they're doing it. Because it's a logical use of it. It's just, it's cool the first time. It's slightly interesting by the 10th time. By the 20th time, it's like, oh my gosh, this has got to stop vibrating.
It's like my hands are numb.
Yeah, and like the sounds are like some of the like the shot sound, like just your normal like shot after a while, like after you power it up, it just has this weird tinny, piercing screech behind it. Like it's like there's a lower sound like the but then there's something behind it. It just drives me nuts. I tend to play this game with the volume way down. Nice. Maybe I'm just getting old. That's what it is. Just chalk it up to old age.
I like it. Very cool.
Join the club.
Right on. So I think that's everything, right? Are we?
Yeah.
Everything? All right. Well, hey, do we have? I did see did we get some emails in just at the last minute here? Let me just double check as I play this. Let's get into some quick listener mail. All right. So, listener mail, we have one email that just came in a couple hours ago from Jamie, and he says, I was at the doctor's today, and the topic of Nintendo's new console came up. He was really excited about the new Wii Switch that was released. I asked him what consoles he had at home. He said that his 360 was getting old, and he was hoping for a new Xbox. I wasn't sure if he was serious or if he was trolling. Do you feel Nintendo has communicated the message of their new hardware appropriately? What would you have done differently to market the Switch at its launch? JB. P.S. I can't wait to pick up a new 2DS XL for my son. It comes out 3 days before his 5th birthday. I was really jazzed when I saw that announcement. Very cool. So, the Wii Switch. Who's excited for the Wii Switch? I think that sometimes that you can ascertain more about the person who is saying something than what they're actually saying, and I think that would be one of these situations.
I would wager to say that maybe this guy is somebody who maybe had an NES when he was young, maybe had the SNES and dropped out of it until the Wii came out and was new and cool and fresh, and now
I think that if that were the case, though, Marty, that he would at least know that it is the Nintendo Switch. I think he may be one of these guys who picked up a Wii during the Wii craze because he was super excited about being able to play bowling and tennis with his kids and his family, and really had no idea about video games, but he sure wanted to play Wii bowling and then never touched it again. And
that may be very true.
Just like when we were kids, whether we had a Sega or an NES or anything else, the uninformed adults would just say, "Oh, he's on the Nintendo."
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it wasn't even a Nintendo.
Or if you were my grandmother, the Nintendo.
Nintendo.
He's up there in his room playing the Nintendo again.
That's awesome. I honestly feel like their marketing has been really, really good.
Their marketing has been on point.
I agree. They've been really careful to not use the Wii terminology.
I saw a news story about this earlier today about how much they've spent on marketing in March. I'm going to try to pull that up real quick.
I bet you it was a ton, because I have seen it everywhere. Like it's like all over, like advertising online. I have seen it on TV a ton. Like their TV marketing, and their TV marketing has been on point too, right? Like I think I have seen a ton of the ad for 1-2 Switch.
Just even the tone of their commercials has been so different.
Yeah.
And done in such a way. I don't know if they switched PR company or what, but
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I don't know.
They needed to, because man, go back and watch some of those Wii U era.
Gosh, dude.
They had marketing.
Go and watch the Wii U introduction.
The Hollywood one? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes. Yes.
Gosh, dude, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was like it actually harmed. Like they would have been better off to just have people walk into the store and think, "Oh, what's this? I've never heard of this before." But to have them actually have marketing so bad that it confused consumers, because that is where that was. That is what happened with that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
Still looking for that number, and it's apparently it's way back. I don't know,
but anyway, yeah. So I don't know. What would I communicate differently? I think that they could do more still to actually communicate what their online service is, and I think it's less about that. It's honestly less about messaging and more about timing and execution that I have a problem with. Give us a little bit more information, even if you say, you know what, this is coming at this time. Just giving information on when are we going to hear about Virtual Console? When are we going to hear about online services? Those are the only two things that I really think that they are dropping the ball with. And again, granted, I 6 months from now,
those are E3. That's E3 discussions, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is that it sucks having to wait for them to say something, but 6 months from now, nobody's going to remember that it took them a while to say something, because it will be there at that point. So I'm not
okay. So I found a number. I'll just throw this out here. This is just it was an article that was published on May 1st that was talking about ad revenue and ad spending during March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament.
Sure, yeah.
$59.3 million spent by 33 brands, running 92 spots over 21,800 times. Nintendo leads the pack with just over 30% of the spend for the gaming industry, an estimated $18.3 million.
Wow.
Just to advertise the Switch. And it's the only brand in our top 5 ranking that ran commercials during NCAA men's basketball tournament.
I believe it.
So, yeah, PlayStation comparatively spent $10.2 million. So Nintendo knows that they have to hustle this. And I think the advertising has been on point. I expect that it will not slow down. Yeah, that we'll see Nintendo, even more leading into ARMS and Splatoon.
Remember going back to Super Bowl, Nintendo had a Switch ad. Then that was probably twice as much as they spent in the entire NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Nintendo is pretty much known for not having that ad ever.
Yeah,
I think that was like the first time Nintendo ever did a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
Yep.
The changes we're seeing in Nintendo over the past couple of years, I think, with how they are positioning themselves to the public, I think, for the most part. I mean, they have missteps. They make people upset about things with things like the NES Classic. I would say that they were probably borderline manipulative to the fanboys. Even knowing that I'm a fanboy, even with the NES Classic, but I think that they've actually been really positive. It's been a really positive change, and yeah, I think it's been great. So I wouldn't change too much, honestly. What would I have done differently to market the Switch at its launch? Nothing. Marketing wise, I think it's been really, really good.
It's been the strongest marketing launch for period for a Nintendo console. I can't think of another one.
Well, and it shows
that
in the
has
it
launched
shows
with
in the
such a
sales.
strong PR presence.
Yeah, and it shows in the sales. It's the best-selling Nintendo console to date. It's the this Mario Kart game that just came out, best-selling Mario Kart to date, or fastest-selling, I should say. There's a difference.
I think
But yeah.
fastest-selling Zelda as well.
Yeah, fastest-selling Zelda, best attach rate probably of any game at this point of the console life cycle ever.
It's still at over 100%.
Yeah, so I wouldn't change too much. Right on. So anything else, guys, as we kind of round out here? Like, what are we?
I kind of wanted to talk about that Twitter conversation that we had a few minutes ago.
Go for it.
So it started off with so Mr. Zach here tagged me with a dreams do come true and showed the Tingle outfit, and Ryan Craig replies, "Well, that's going to consume at least 15 minutes on the next podcast. Don't make it weird." Zach says, "I can't imagine what you possibly could mean by that. We don't make things weird." Ryan says, "I will be disappointed if you are not in costume for the YouTube stream. This is how you gain supporters on Patreon." And then I said, "Now you're giving me ideas, and I'm wearing my hood."
I like it. Yeah. You invite us to make things weird, and we do not disappoint. Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
We're totally never weird.
No, that's not weird, right?
Like
It's
my
not
daughter got home, we were getting ready for bed, and she saw that I was wearing this, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
He's auditioning for the part of Skeletor in the new He-Man movie.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, hey guys, I think that's a show. What do you think? I think it's
Absolutely.
right on. Well, everybody, as we round out the show here, I just want to thank everybody for being on the show and for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you want to support the show, everybody, go over to patreon.com/NintendoDads. For as little as $1 a month, you can change. You can make this happen. You can be a part of the miracle that is Nintendo Dads. And so thank you so much for all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. So don't go changing. You guys are just super cool. So, and of course, if you're not a patron, even $1 a month, like I said. So that is that. As well, if you want to follow us on all of the social medias, you can do so: Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Nintendo Dads. If you want to email us, nintendodads@gmail.com. If you want to watch our videos, Twitch or YouTube, you can just look for Nintendo Dads. You will find us. Call in and leave us a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. If you want some Nintendo Dads merch, go over to tiny.cc/Nintendo Dads store, and you will find all sorts of cool stuff, t-shirts and whatnot. Very awesome stuff there. Huge thanks to OC Remix for our music throughout the show, as well as to both Carter Johnson and Adam Leonard for our amazing artwork. And of course, if you want to change the world, which I know that you do, go over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. Written reviews are even better. And of course, if you want to subscribe to hear us every single week, go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and of course, VGTribune.com. For me, for Jesse, for Marty, for the Irish Justin, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Wobble Puffet, Wobble Buffet,